Is Oklahoma cooked after John Mateer is out for at least a couple of weeks, maybe a month? Let's talk about what that means for the Sooners, what that means for his understudy, and why I'm not as doomy and gloomy as others about this particular topic. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think Michael Hawkins can continue Oklahoma's undefeated start to the season in John Mateer's absence? For those of you that live underneath that particular rock, John Mateer underwent hand surgery on Wednesday and is expected to be out for at least a couple of weeks. Most people say a month. They're hoping to get him back by South Carolina. I think that's much more realistic than many people think. I also am optimistic and thinking, you know what? Texas is 2 weeks away, and the dude played an entire game of football with a broken hand. If you need him to play, maybe not. Maybe it's not in the best interest of him. Maybe it's not in the best interest of the Sooners. And frankly, Michael Hawkins has everything to do with that. So Oklahoma's in a bye week, which is great news because that's a free week to heal. And then you got another bye week that's called Kent State, which is another free week to heal. And then there's Texas. The good news for Oklahoma is that it's been about what you would expect with John Mateer at quarterback. It's not just that dude has been outstanding and a Heisman finalist. It's that the rest of the offense is clicking along and the defense is playing to another standard. This is great news. Oklahoma's got a tremendous win against Michigan. They got a tremendous win against Auburn. The bad news is if Michael Hawkins does indeed crap the bed against Texas like he did last year in a 34-3 loss, you're going to look at this Oklahoma team the way you looked at 2023 Florida State without Jordan Travis. It's just not the same football team, and that's fair. You can't ask anybody to look at Oklahoma without John Mateer and think that that is a team that's capable of making the college football playoff or even win the SEC championship, playing for a national championship. It's just probably it's not likely. There's a reason why John Mateer was brought in. People forget this. 3,100 yards through the air, 826 on the ground because Michael Hawkins wasn't good enough to get it done. Had Michael Hawkins come in that game against Tennessee, kept the job, and played well against Texas, played well the rest of the way, played well against Air Force in the bowl game, probably wouldn't even have room for a John Mateer at Oklahoma. There's a reason why that dude and Ben Arbuckle showed up. Okay. However, the plan was to redshirt Michael Hawkins this year, and he was going to have a whole year to learn with Kevin Johns and Ben Arbuckle to figure out this offense and to maybe run it in 2026. That's out the window because, well, as I had been alluding to and others who are smart about football, when you got a quarterback like Mateer who needs to take care of a lot of it himself, running and throwing, the risk for injury just goes through the roof. This is why most head coaches loved a statue at quarterback for so long. I know that guy's going to either get rid of the football or he's going to take sacks. I'm going to get another guy. As we started to play more open football and we started to throw the ball more, and we got edge rushers that are just as fast as anybody else, you needed a guy that can make plays out of structure and bail you out of a bad play call. Matter of fact, I really love what Kenny Dillingham used to say to Bo Nix. He's like, look, I'm going to give you a play. And if you get to the line of scrimmage and you see that I put you in a bad spot, you need to make me look good. You need to make me right, okay? Get us out of that play and into something you can win with. And that is also what Ben Arbuckle's been doing with John Mateer. I think with Michael Hawkins, it's going to be the same thing. What is it that Michael Hawkins does well? Let's gear toward that. The problem for Oklahoma that you might have already foreseen is that there is no run game to support Michael Hawkins. It's just going to be him. If Torrey Blaylock catches fire, that's great. But Javonte Barnes has stone hands and can't be asked to catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm not quite sure what Xavier Robertson needs to do, but it ain't working out. Deion Burks has been great. We know that there's at least one guy in Jarrett Kennick that can catch the football too. Keontez Lewis has been great too. These are all pass catchers though. I just don't know how capable Michael Hawkins is going to be of taking advantage of those one-on-one opportunities or throwing the balls in the tight windows. Some of the throws that I've seen John Mateer make, I looked at it as a former quarterback and go, I can't make that throw. And I mean, obviously I can't make that throw, but I would not advise making that throw is the other way of putting it. You know what I mean? Like he's slinging it, and that makes him fun to watch. He also has a throwing angle like a shortstop and plays quarterback like he plays high school shortstop. Plays like the best athlete on a football team. Like I look at him and I see Pee Wee. I see, everybody had that one guy in middle school that we just gave him the ball and said, show me what to do with it. And he went and did something with it. That's all. That's what John Mateer has been able to do. I think the high end for Michael Hawkins is getting there. But this is one of the reasons why I thought it was kind of, interesting that Jackson Arnold wanted to take the leave to Auburn. Now he's going to start at Auburn, and I get that. You go where you want to play. But knowing that you got a quarterback that runs as much as he does, the likelihood of somebody getting injured back there just goes up. So you always got to have somebody ready to play. A great example of this going well is Ole Miss. Like Austin Simmons came out as a starter because he's cooking. Trinidad Chambliss turns out to be just as good, if not better, in his stead. And that dude transferred there from Ferris State. Now, there is a chasm between the quality of quarterback play that Trinidad Chambliss has put on in the last 2 games and what we've seen of Michael Hawkins since December last. I think the challenge is going to be the Texas defensive line. I was asked about this earlier by a friend, and it was like, yo, how much do you really have faith that Hawkins can get it done? Give me a snowball and roll it into hell. Like, I just don't. That defense, it's less about what Michael Hawkins is capable of doing, and it's more about what Texas's defense has been doing. It's difficult to move the football. Like, go back and watch the Ohio State game. Julian Sand played out of his mind, given that he was under pressure and he could only take what was given, and he made some great decisions. The way in which I think this might go for Michael Hawkins looks a lot like how it went for Arch Manning, which is to say, the one thing that Michael Hawkins has going for him this year that he didn't have last year is a better defense. They're better. They have no takeaways, but I think that's going to change against State, right? They've been playing outstanding. They are prideful about people scoring on them. They got safeties against a top 25 program. They're going to be able to make life difficult for Arch Manning because Arch still hasn't shown us he can do it against quality competition that we expect Texas to have to play for championships. Oklahoma had been that kind of program, full stop. Now they're that kind of program defensively, if not offensively. It's probably going to need to be a low-scoring game. You're going to need some otherworldly efforts from Torrey Blaylock running the ball, Javante Barnes running the ball, and you're going to need to get some takeaways against that Texas defense. You're going to have to put Michael Hawkins in positions to win. If he's got to do it himself, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. We've seen John Mateer do it. Like I keep going back to this. Dude got a broken hand. Oklahoma's down. He leads them on a just tremendous scoring drive. And goes 14-16 in the second half. And by the way, the hand that he has the surgery on is also his throwing hand. It's the other reason I'm optimistic about this. If the dude could play with a broken hand for an entire game of football, because he basically broke it on the first pass play, I'm optimistic about his ability to come back. I just am. Now, we'll find out for sure what the time frame looks like, but I'm just not. Oklahoma's 4-0. It's 4-0 with 2 top 25 wins. And it's not as if John Mateer is gone for the season. It's probably October 18th, right? If you're conservative. I'm not. Go for broke. Try to win the whole damn thing. Do whatever you must. Hidden ball tricks, illegal plays. I don't give a damn. Pull out all the stops. This needs to be a year to remember at Oklahoma, and Michael Hawkins has an opportunity to etch his name, man, to go be legendary, to be remembered. Golly, man. God, I ache for that opportunity, and I love it for him. No, I'm not doomy and gloomy about this. I got 20-somethings that get to go make a memory for us all. How the hell can you be negative about that?